man for Samaba. Kosikwati, our Kasama former Ken, wa Kasa Papa Chichin Semu. I fa Musah Danquah ni Paul Sebuna or the Bayan. Kuchichimwa ebe fever Kennedy papa. And we remember Kasama, me couldn't kuti. The BCBiano, ever started to us.
So, yeah, because. Oh dear, I'm surprised.
It is well.
But do you be able to go?
Here, bra. Be I fine so. It is well. It is well. It is well.
Na nanka bebe she me space no na me tie Musah am so no eze bi. Me tie bi kan sem ni.
And on tia se o.
Me there is one thing about me. Me will view and policy as a communicator for politically exposed person. May have a template in addressing process.
Yeah.
And especially, it will not be wise for you to even attack the credibility of Musah.
Yeah.
Because we're gaining public trust.
Yeah.
And so, ebasa, kwese bese panico na de ahabai, but if you trust in the binance of him.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, no, semi discrediting Musah. The first question was say, vote to the Kennedy Agyapong. It really doesn't add anything to Kennedy Agyapong.
Right.
But there are ordinary Ghanaians and reasonable Ghanaians. One of them who say, I'm just being in a denial state. Because one more year they edge. When people build trust and credibility, a weapon.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can use it well, sometimes they can also weaponize it.
Yeah.
My more clear instance, I mean, that is my personal reservations, way is not a campaign issue.
Yeah.
Somebody like Anas is somebody I have issues with.
Yeah.
Why? Because let me say, we build a public trust. And he's relevant because state institutions are also more fighting corruption has failed. And some way, somehow, since I also more fighting corruption has failed. And some way, somehow, Abem as the Messiah.
Yeah.
But in being Messiah, no, I said now so much chima kakrebi de who are the same Madonna or fight, no, or say you see the public trust, no, and or donor confidence in a way, no. And also abuse the trust. That's me.
All right.
The process can do that.
Right.
But whether they are doing that or they are not doing that, we obia make us say, address certain issues like this. How do you go it? And me, I've addressed Musah on so many occasions. First time I did pull by, I picked the phone and called him. Now me call Joy. Now me see opening now. We the assementi ase kakra. Because even the last election, Dr. Bawumia had almost 137 members of parliament supporting him because he was an establishment candidate. So over 6,000 appointees, you know. Who are being who could do say pen tap.
Right.
Upumpo also yede udinechi. Who share DCs were his campaign coordinators upumpo by default.
Yeah.
All the 276 constituencies. All constituency executives, all the 17, who could draw born in Abakacha's on your day on support.
Right.
So he was indeed the establishment candidate. And President Akufo-Addo was very intentional. And this is Akufo the enemy. Who's Akufo-Addo was my Juma, Medobane Chifala Monya de Mumwano. We just are we just made the neighbor Mumpo Monya de Munsonimu.
All right.
Despite their course so having the state security apparatus to engineer everything on the election day, only 61% too.
Right.
Tiasemi you. Tidipa only 61% Kennedy or no. Literally barely about 6 months while they prepare for elections, so it will be 37%. Then, afi, and then normal says the waves and momentum Ken has been able to sustain it for that long. Now I heard Brian's what yes him. Brian was in Bawumia's camp, so okay,
yeah,
very strong.
Yeah,
arguably now there are speculations that vice presidential near Tepono.
Right.
Me and Papa Dr. Duchum. I mean, you can downplay him in all the regions, but Ashanti factor and Ashanti cars he's playing, you can't take his about 7% from him.
Yeah.
What I say? Because observation and reasonability are also variables and components in research.
Yeah.
What I say? You're going to research, I can tell you, about your control. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, Donald Trump being at 12%, it won't be reasonable. It defied the logic and consistency. Said no, because there are references in previous elections. A bit immediate, a guide. Comment upon no need about your camp. Contestino. President Akufo-Addo was the one who was in the helms of affairs. No other ship on Oko. Because he's and no abandon ship no. Until Lord come in money, I didn't be up baby the chair day. I'm not able, I don't have the permission to label baby a bin day. But at least with President Akufo-Addo, with Kennedy Agyapong, with Dr. Brian Champong, and with Dr. Duchum. These are objective realities and they will be
yeah.
And these are big fishes. No, all of a sudden, they'll pull you from. And the MPC could be the Ken Ho. So, now I feel Ken no near 37 or Dr. Baumiana and the camp match almost by 5 different divisions. You know, Ken Mum now drops to 17.
Okay.
But this is my approach. Me, I see every pool as a guide and a template to guide you and a good feedback for you.
Right.
Because some of the pools will favor you. Now, only pool, no, pool, how? The basis is that, first of all, you have to look at the methodology in the AUC. Methodology in the predator outcome in the
yeah.
In Musah's case, this is the one more random sampling to Fidina and the EFA.
Yeah.
Assuming say Fidina fa, or my program say Fidina fa, and IPA 2020 from each constituency in a free $1. That itself will give a bias and skewness. Una rekundia. Okodomekwa benya. One more delegate is about 1,800. Oba Fomena is about 230. And if we are picking 10 randomly from each constituency,
but I know
it will be disproportionate.
On can't pick if. But what if ABA stratify sampling? Which say in stratify sampling,
yes.
Oh yeah, now what their unity so that you know that say baby swan oma more sampling
exactly
and baby swan so
100%. Me bahano. I'm not sure that dantem because I mean without disrespect to any journalist, there are some you go you don't even prepare.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that dantem because I wanted to rest and I now me per flow saying some of them be say what questions and not necessarily so on a certain question but sometimes to be guided. No. Me am in flow organically say and I'm happy where you are going. Yes, as at now no. We don't have. I have not had the opportunity to review the full methodology that you see.
Yeah.
But I'm borrowing his own words.
Yeah.
I can't say move to go randomly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that when you do the random sampling, one of them could be the simple random and the stratified now. Now the argument could be A or B.
Yeah.
And either of them, no, it could be their working.
Yeah.
It could also be their mesomedia making.
Say but issue 10.
Yes. Who you to 10. So then you get the bias thing.
Right.
And you say you're wrong. But the outcome will be a bit skewed based
because
on the
methodology. Because a bit doors to change. It's also DB.
Yes. And you can find 10. Now can find from 10. You won't get the true representation.
That's also true.
And you may be doing a percentage terms. If you are doing percentage terms, then it will be reasonable. Percentage terms, you'll be doing about 180 people, whilst a beer. If you're using 10%, maybe a formula you'll be doing around 27 people.
Exactly.
What I say. So we may have to get clarity into it. But for me, this is my view.
I'm decided for
I'm coming there.
Yeah.
For me, this is my position on polls. Papa Musah Danquah in Ejuma. I will not sit here and discredit him.
Right.
He's done his job. Osha, there are pollings that he's predicted so right. If we look at, for instance, 2020, Obayachu.
Yeah.
2019. He was able to get what almost President Akufo-Addo had. No, he had it almost right.
Right.
But President Mahama had 34%. But President Mahama had around 43. 10% difference.
Yeah.
And the polling there is not absolute.
Yeah.
It's just a projection in. That's not so for crying polling.
Yeah, of course.
What does it? But the whole point is that it's just a feedback to make us to work so hard. There are other polls that has predicted so right and so strongly for Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nano Sanity Africa there.
Yeah.
TV3
Yeah.
Manjoy
Yeah.
And all of them Ken is leading. Adomuswa all of them Ken is leading.
Yeah.
Sanity Africa crowd were targeted delegates specifically. But the reason why Musah Danquah's own has become topical is because of the relevance he's built for himself over the history.
I get it.
And
yeah.
Can hold kakra because I was a pundit.
Yeah.
And quickly what he did was or making youth and started then doing exit poll. So that if it is not here, the exit will then vindicate him. There is no 100% precision. But I mean reasonably, objectively. How would then somebody move from 17 with all this background from 37 with all this background and history of
but so may on say nano or analysis.
Yes.
The delegate system no. Momu delegates no. And Kokrafoni also.
Yes.
And these people Kokrafoni also.
Yes.
and these people, it's difficult to change.
The last time Kasai, he mentioned about 70-something%, but when I checked the data, it was less than that. It was around 54.
Now even 54,
yes, but
when you have 54, even 50% as delegates are from 50 years and above.
That would be around 45 plus.
Yeah, so even 45, but they are conservative. They're against JJ4 because 45 years, JJ.
Yes.
It is typically a strong MPP person. On no one to men this one to aba. That person be a delegator. Now see we ni a panel and I am to one is one. Necessary no say a ding.
Necessary ding. Unim it boils down to nkomo teaching. It boils down to messaging.
Okay.
It is undisputed. Say, yeah, researcher I am nkomo aye die nyina no. Dr. Bawumia solely hope and idea the straw he's holding on. Brian so funny. The second chance. Oh. And if I am Kennedy or I'm a communicator of Kennedy, my only issue, and as I say, the only burden on me is say I should explain to the delegates why a second chance in MPP, even though it's a true history, but the proper history, has always been contingent on performance.
Okay.
What I say? Juma. What I say? And polling there, when him say duration also counts. In the next 5 days, depending on also a Juma. But the skewness of the figure to tell me say Brandy Champo Benya 1%.
But say on this side, because on this side the view war.
Yes.
And no to me
it's 27%. Yes.
You understand? 27, that's a lot.
Yeah. When you are an establishment candidate, people are not afraid to associate themselves with you.
Okay.
Nti Dr. Bawumia no establishment no be anim say yesi bia ebi nim susu say executives di nachi ebi susu say mpanifo we na hye nachi wono no de ehunu ne yafiri who's establishment technically it's like the party is for you.
Yeah.
I mean some way somehow obi ani wa osuo so obeka che oso ama establishment candidate and say obi obeka che so undecided bia ye nipa so ye de ohwe ni yi. Me if you ask me, I'm not worried because I calculate Ken votes to be the 17% or the amount but you bet him about 17 plus undecided is say 24 me boy.
Yeah.
17 plus 24 me say 17 plus 24 should give us 41%. Now, assuming without admitting this logic is to suffice, because now we are all doing analysis. This logic is to suffice. Now, Bawumia stands as 47. Ken stands at what? 41.
So, you know, can say likely say run off.
I'm not worried, bro. But when him say me a Bawumia fan, and if I'm in the Bawumia's camper, I should be worried. Do you know how I should be worried?
Tell me.
In a year ago, I had 61% in the last primaries. With all the support and the machinations and the establishment support, only 61%.
Right.
Then Musah did the polling just last month. Polling our year last month, only said Dr. Bawumia on 52%. Right? And in the space of 1 month, Dr. Bawumia has dropped from 52% to say 47%. That is a 5 percentage point drop. Very significant. And if the trajectory is to go like that from 61 to 52 to 47 in the next 4 months, but no one is what to drop by 20%.
Possible.
Yes, and I could drop by 20%. And also 32%. And I don't see Dr. Bawumia crossing 32%.
32% for delegates, Nana.
Yes, you could talk about.
Hey, I don't say Dr. 30%.
Where they tell Musah Danquah data near you. She has sent me you.
So,
Mami fa de bia no me afun ti o Mr. Danquah ti me ba pani no ti asem ni ni
yeah
now no nya 61%.
Right.
With the delegates, and no verifiable votes.
Yeah.
Then Musah just last month did the polling. So polling not Dr. Bawumia drop from because the album has not changed significantly.
Right. And
he has dropped from 61% to 52% in the last election. Last poll now Musah in the space of 1 month, we're moving from 52 to 47.
Right.
That is 5 percentage point drop. Yes, a swat 5. And when Tino said there's likely to be runoff. Assuming without admitting, second, 8 tall and 5 percentage points now they are dropping. Can just 4 regions so.
And
Odinya 5 percentage drop on affected Bawumia. It is a Ken to me other 12 regions in here the account. As I had a back to back. What it means is that if you are to go by Musah's own analogy, every month be or 5% now. The next 4 months of Dr. Bawumia so quoted 20%. What 20 free? Omeko say oti 20 ni 47 ni ma. He using around 27. And I'm say papa didn't mean 32%.
And even 32.
By Musah Danquah.
Na Ken is when you say.
Hey, na say me I'm projecting around.
Yeah, record you.
Yeah, I'm projecting. You see, me, I'm a very realistic person.
I understand. Tell me, see, you're recording.
Yes, I'm
recording.
I'm projecting.
Cameras, bear me. I am for the name also.
Oh, you need to wait my
okay,
it is my projection. Say can maybe.
But
it is my projection that can maybe do around 62 to 64%.
Mr. Repeat.
It is my projection. Say can maybe do around 62 to 64%. We are winning Western North.
Okay.
We are winning Ahafo.
Okay.
We are winning Bono. Bono is, as at now, we may need to work so hard. But Bono is, say, Yentime and winning pa, very close.
Right.
Savannah will be close.
Okay.
The other 4 northern regions, Dr. Baumia will win.
Okay.
But upper east. Sorry.
Northeast.
No. Northeast. Upper east, Boko issues, It will also be very close because of the Kusasis and the Mamprisis factor, where Kusasis from Council and also power.
Right.
We win Greater Accra.
Okay.
Right? We win Eastern. We win Vota. Dr. Baumia be winning. It's likely he will win Oti. Asante obviously will be a decider.
Okay.
Asante no say a beam because now okay the last time Asante nya first lady because candidates will be in free house.
Yeah.
Dr. Baumia free enough. Ken is also from Asante even though we're living a life in our Kumasia.
Oh, candidates.
The 2 leading candidates.
Okay. Yeah.
So Brian also free.
I now refu papa ntina na mentiazi.
Oh, there be say asema can.
Can you say for?
Oh, they make the 2 leading one.
Okay. Obi en free.
So contest be no. Where they are, you have the dominant ones.
Supporters in this will play Brian for ne. On the Kennedy Agyapong for the Biama 0. No, it's not fair to us.
Oh,
what they meet you.
But so
Kwabran so free as Korema.
Yeah, wow, Kazan, we are interviewing Musah Ekano. But this is about the 32 day, but this is about Brandy.
Oh, the team.
But let me let me put it this way. So the 2 leading candidates, which is Ken and Dr. Baumian, will be in free.
Okay.
Right? But case in say, identity politics is very real.
Very.
We are almost so when I think for harmonious living in identity politics is very real.
If we have free hand, it's true.
No, so they campaign crowd.
It's true.
How come all the 11 MPs from the north now what to be that? But the point is, the last time Ashanti region, first lady was Kunedu.
Yeah.
In the history, I know Claudia President Kofo.
Yeah.
As we are 2 abasine, we are Ghana ni penina.
I said no free bono, ne yeri free bono side.
Yeah, make sense or no President Kofo no free ha.
Yeah.
But ne yeri crowd no free ha.
Yeah.
But we President Kofo any Kunedua. We've not had any other person close to the presidency again. No.
That's true.
What I say?
That's true.
And it is a case. Can you free Mampon here?
Okay, as a great Mampon.
There be a
Asante Mampo.
Oh,
okay, that's fine.
Asante Mampo said nano a year cry and she's going to be stationed here.
All right.
She's also going to be stationed or by Bruteti Hania Cry and most of the account communities to also campaign. And the air corner, the enormous corner how projections in this me, I don't see can do anything less than 62 to 64%.
All right. Now, Yenkoha. I mean, congratulations in advance, Bema. But we cannot overrule outside the party.
Yes.
And I'm saying this because of the experience that we've had.
Okay.
I remember Muchusu Napo.
Yes.
And say it's a public knowledge on our position and what I said. Say you may be popular because even at the time Alan Freeman Keno, post waha.
Yeah.
Emma mu confirm me say instead of Baumia no peken. It was clear.
Yes.
That I'm talking about 2024. That time umpono instead of Baumia no more peken.
Yeah.
But Mutuma Baumia, because they said that Mutuma Baumia won't win. They said it on a platform. The records are there. Now, Canon so I want the baggages.
Oh,
yes. And Memusa Moya will let Ken be Ken. But you see, Kakra means me who Ghana for no say sometimes we can be a bit funny. Baby, what touchy. In Sembia or Kaye. Ebia delegates may forgive.
Yeah.
And then na more because don't overrule the anger outside. You may need them.
Yeah.
The pastoral, I've seen a lot of pastors they are still referring, even though I know say we apologize. I say Ghanaians are funny. The hurdle of trying to now come into the Ghana space where nanu being sema ubin so aheti umuno. What are you going to do about it?
I mean, sometimes I disagree with you on a lot of things, including your style as a journalist. But there's one thing I cannot take from you. There is one thing I cannot take from you. A sense of reasoning. Anyhow, with that question. I like it like this. And I mean, state one of the stations I'm required manager. I join the city because I'm common was wrong. Me to train some near the eba. And this is a very valid question. You see, me and Ambeka let can be Ken.
Yeah.
And I have to state it on record that let can be Ken was relevant then in a context. But right now, it's a message that gradually has to be toned down.
Okay.
But what did I mention? Because
BBM.
What was the context? The context was nobody cares about what Ken is bringing on board. All what everybody cares about is Ken is temperamental, Ken is this, Ken is this. They say yes. Nana, Ken is just like me, no UTA. There were shortcomings. We have strengths and shortcomings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far I said be no more to it. Sometimes if you are exposed to their private life, that's
true.
But they manage it in a nice way.
Right.
Ken has strengths or weaknesses. Said them say and no kind, you know. And then we be na papa. What I say. But even normal or you say your shortcomings and so temperamental and it all depends on how we want to view it.
Okay.
And again, how we also want to harness it for the development of our country.
Right.
Nipa also a temperamental. No? It could be true. But have you also looked at Ken also being so passionate about getting results?
Getting results done.
Say, I don't know why now Ken the one chima wo. I say Ken the what did the party for them? What was the contest? This is a man from the 92 BC. He has always been in defense of the party.
Right.
What did he say? Ye party, Juma, ye party, for ya, and to another party next year. I feel na cobroso. Ya dear no na kuma ede. Mama one instance.
Right.
A party focus here, President Akufo-Addo. Gabi Asaroche dako. Asante Bedia too. Asafo Mafo. No muko shia party mpanifo ne party makakra.
Right.
Ewo Gabi fi, ewo Kufuria. No mu dim komona. Say no be afafo and recorded the Osafo Mafo ye de ekan.
Yeah.
Na some Osafo Mafo kan ni mood. Ne hadwen so kakra.
Yeah.
Asem say as a superiority complex and rivalry between the Achems and the Asantes.
Yeah.
Nipa de record we no de koma one farm no inshira no one farm koma you one farm call mine so no de ko pro NDC station Accra FM no mo ko boy ankade or how no ye ni kese pa beto the Asantes and the Achems yeah no be man ko fado like kan bramensia na be de be pacho no be ya na sense so ye de eguso when Ken heard it was MPP for mo ejimi mo ye nkwasiafo.
Yeah.
You see how the contest is he doesn't understand why any reasonable person
because in KNDC from Komunya then na wo MPP ni wo be sa na say unim nyansa. And I agree.
What I say?
I agree.
Obia or how he addresses issues. Me I'm a communication person.
Yeah.
Musah Danquah di adebayi. Somebody will rubbish it. Oh, Musa Oja credible, papa.
Yeah.
I don't see a ask anything to ask.
Yeah.
The mayor no boko. The me na me address you. I can make us say dear nipa ye. There's a nyansa day anymore. Ken kanasa. Ken make us say moya kwasiafo. But you see, we are highly conservative, like we said.
Exactly.
What I say. And no matter how you also need to learn and adapt. But again, context is also very important.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is say, let us also not weaken our leaders, especially when we know say one more character traits be bit my day. You have a be or you're bold or you're courageous. Also, you will timmy challenging a party for or timmy kind of create nipa. Why do we want to change such a person to fit into a certain template that we call presidential material from time immemorial 92 up to now?
On adaptation, Donald Trump stand a boy.
No, not really. Americans are different from us.
Okay.
But I'm saying that in as much as he keeps his strength, he also needs to balance it to also fit within the Ghana
form.
That's why now it has changed from let Ken be Ken to
let Ken be Ken to
the old Ken fought for you, but the new Ken will build.
And say new Ken.
Yes, yeah. But you see, we are also
but
mindful
not because it's an open position. Because make I say, you would just say, "Abranti, be none who fin pa." on or just say the bianata, but okaso pe SP no. If you hold ban was shining, say what pie be the crab.
Also, the Kenyan say we are also mindful not changing him. That's why I said or nipa or a shortcomings.
Yeah.
And normally I'm sure say if you give him the opportunity on kind of side
I get it.
Not necessarily because position already always. Mama, one example. Yeah. Recently we catch him say Ken Kopa so far. And I said I won't even go and tell him this and he won't do it. No Musah now say what we do so far them or say Debbie. No say me a praise bini or me di so far them. Me this would do Roman so for be atem. South of would do matter me fine. Nigeria Gezi, but they
have followed. But they have followed.
No problem with that.
You need them. You need them. So it's very important.
I agree with you. But make us some Nana.
Because Shoko one Manchester so following.
Can never attack one. I'm coming, Nana.
No, but they feel. You see, you're explaining, which I agree. But the point is that sometimes it's not just. For example.
But if you had allowed me to land, I was coming if you had allowed me to land. The point I was making is what is the context? The context is not say Ken Edra Sofo and I pass off as him.
Yeah.
But this is Uncle subsequently Omukra back came fee and all the allegations he leveled against them. So more your car smuggling, yeah, Jim Crawford say, yeah, ABC. They came to him to apologize to him.
Yeah, I get it.
So why then do you say Ken should then make a U-turn and go and apologize to them in the name so
position. For the optics.
Yes, but for the balance is also that then people would then see Sakwano or Boha he's a hypocrite. Ken
No, I'm not sure so Moka say Obwa because people loved it. I'm sure say the tone at which okay. Sometimes a bit me a kabibi. Nay no cre. But you see tone. There have been times I've been hard on an Ekufano. But they said, okay, no cre, but your tone. So I apologize. Then I do apologize. You understand?
Who apologizing for tone?
No, apologizing for the tone, which is very important because we are in the conservative environment. Adebi Ohan Kate say okay, can be can say, but can say. Communication because of our system. What do I say? You can use nonsense in USA. You can say F the president in USA. Ebia won't mean kanisa. So people are saying, say, can the name so
but the tone is not the act.
No, but the tone is important because in communication, gestures are very important. Tones are very important.
But how then do you go, for instance, somebody commits a grievous offense, you condemn it in ultimate terms. Then because you want a position as a presidential candidate or to be a president, you go and say, what are you going to apologize for? Say, I don't know why I said your kind of.
No, so bet me a can, but the point of fire and you say ultimate or babatian or dokwanso. And it's only a catching papa to me was a damas mabo. You know, so I think that no, that's a feedback for you. I think, for example, how you are communicating, very perfect. People are just praising how you are communicating because of that experience. Can me who my attitude need be one who I mean I like straightforward things and I am able to resonate. But in our system and conservative system, there are certain things you could say, but the how is important. The how now can no. If you say the how no.
I agree with you.
So maybe the how.
Omaya yewo jatwa hini womo. Know the context of Omaya no.
Yeah.
Sometimes you should also not hide under the umbrella of conservatism. Let us also not run away from the canker culturally. Into us.
Exactly.
There are a lot of times that we don't have to be modest on certain situations.
I agree.
You have to be very hard.
Unfortunately,
my mom situation be this agrada situation. I don't see the better tone that you can describe how I didn't go for the echo. Say if you have been a victim to some